right, hello everybody. It's Paper Airplane Monday on Mr. Knott's Art Studio. So today what we're going to do is we're going to review a couple of our past planes because I've been playing with them. I leave these things laying around my house and play, just randomly throw them. I'll adjust them, adapt them, change them up, maybe even make something completely new. And then, but then as I'm doing that, I'm learning some things. So I was going to show you a few things that I've learned so far from my planes and some ways that I've adapted them. And that way you can do the same thing, all right? So the one of the first planes we made was this fighter jet, okay? It has a sharp point on it, which is cool, but you can even see how this one here, see how it gets bent up. So what I do a lot of times with my planes is I will fold the tip in just a tiny bit, okay? And that makes it a little bit stiffer, a little bit stronger, and it really doesn't affect its flight much, okay? It doesn't really change its flight much. But this right here, even though these look really different from each other. Okay, this is my aircraft carrier, by the way. That's my aircraft carrier. All right. They look really different, but all I did was I took the point and I folded it back to where it touches these points right here. And it actually has a nice, stable flight. Now, I haven't flown this one in a couple of days, but let's see what happens. Okay, well, it runs into the entertainment center. But it seems to stabilize its flight a little more, and it seems a little tougher. So I'm going to show you one other thing that I did a little different here. So I'm going to adjust this here. So we made a flying tube like this. Now with the flying tube, what we did is we wrapped a rubber band around it. You stretch in the rubber band as you get it wrapped around. Okay, you stretch the rubber band and you shoot it. Okay, not like that. Don't look like that. I actually stretched it too long. Okay, so there we go. Let's try this again. All right, so that gives it a flying tube. But I didn't know this when I had this built. You can use these Dixie cups like this, okay, or solo cups. And and another thing that I've also learned, this flies really good, even outside. But if I take my rubber band, I have 3 rubber bands here. And if I take my rubber band and I wrap it around really tight, if I double it like this and wrap it really tight, when it's wrapped really tight like that, and also when the rubber band's doubled up, it gives it more power, more spinning power, which is going to make it fly even better. Okay? So those are a couple of the things I've adapted to my plane so far. So hopefully you learn from that. Go in and have some fun with that. Experiment with your planes. You can make it better. All right, we're going to get ready for today's plane. Today's plane is going to be a lot of fun. It's not real hard to make. Just get things adjusted here. All right. So this plane, I'm not sure what to call it. It really doesn't have a fuselage or a body to it. It's where you can grab it with your fingers like this and throw it. So it's a little bit different. You kind of just release it, or you can kind of throw it, and I'll show you how to do that. But the first thing we need to do, we got a regular piece of paper here. You'll probably need a pair of scissors or a way to tear the paper where we're going to be talking about it. First thing you're going to do is you're going to fold this paper in half. Hot dog style. See, I got some of my regular fans on here today. One of my most loyal fans, as always. And you're going to open it back up. Now from here on out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a fold. You just watch. That's all I want you to do is just watch what I do. And then you go in and then I'll stop and I'll say go. And I'll let you give you time to make the paper airplane also. So so we have our paper folded this down the center here. Now I'm going to take this. We're starting out just like we do a regular plane. Most paper airplanes kind of start out like this. And just watch. Just be watching. All right. Now give it a good sharp crease. Okay, go. Your turn. And as you guess, probably we're going to do this. We're going to do this side the same way. I'm going to turn my paper here so I can make sure I get it lined up nice and neat. Hopefully y'all can still see it there. I'm going to make a little adjustment here. Maybe y'all can see a little better. I'm going to pull you in right on top of it here. That might be a little better. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this right across here. So watch what I do first, and then you can do it. Right across the bottom there. I'm going to make a little, so ready, go. You can go ahead and do that. I'm going to make a little adjustment in mine. I got mine's not quite lined up. So I'm just going to make a small adjustment there. Yeah, give it a good sharp crease. All right. This is actually a pretty easy plane to make. Takes a little practice to fly it. So now we're going to open this back up. Go. That should be pretty quick and easy for you to do. Your next move is you're going to take this edge right here. Okay. You're going to take this edge and you're going to fold it on this line right here. So it's going to look like this. And it should make a point right down here. All right. Ready, go. All right. The next one. Okay, I'm going to turn my paper around so I can fold it. So we're doing the same thing to the other side. I'll turn my paper back. Oh, I'm doing it wrong. So that's why you watch me first, to make sure I get it right first, and then you can go. Should look like this. All right, go. My sister's watching, yay! Elias will like this one. This one's a fun plane. Now we're going to take this part, take this edge, fold it back down here. We're going to take this one. All right, getting phone calls in the middle of my show. Telemarketers, they always know when to call. All right, so the next fold, I'm going to turn it around like this. Go ahead and do that so you don't get confused. Now we're going to take this point and we're going to fold it to about midway of this right here, about halfway down from this section to this section. So watch, 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 and then I'll let you do it. I'm going to fold it right to the center there, about halfway down that section there. All right, ready, go. So we're going to take, now we're going to take this point and we're going to fold it under here. So let me try to keep my hands out of the way here. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to tuck it up underneath this till it reaches this point right here. So I'm going to take it, let's see if I can do this. I'm just going to fold it under, and it's going up underneath these sides here. I'll try to show you what it looks like inside there. So I'm actually going to be tucking it up inside of there. All right. Okay, ready, go. Looks like a beautiful day outside. I'm going to have to go ride my motorcycle a little bit today. I have to mow the yard first. Yay. Okay, so now with our next fold, we're going to take this part, this corner. I'll do this one a couple of times. We want this to be folded straight down going this way. So I'm going to fold it over. It's making a right angle between this and this. Okay, so I'm going to fold it straight down. It looks really complicated when you start making this plane, but man, after you make it once, it's so easy to do. All right, go ahead and do that. So taking this corner, I'm folding it to where it points straight. This will be straight up. All right, we're going to do the other side the same exact way. I'm going to turn my paper so I can make sure I see it straight. So it's pointing straight up. I almost have like a little box shape right here. So you see that box shape. All right, so go ahead and do that. Same thing. Now, we're going to take just a little bit of this. I was debating on what to do next. But we're going to take a little bit of this edge right here, okay? Not much of it, tiny bit, maybe, less than a pencil width. Okay, I'm going to take this, I'm going to fold it down. And then I actually kind of open it back up. I don't have to, I'm going to leave it curved just a little bit like that, okay? This is actually going to give our plane more lift. This is one what I learned from experimenting. I actually made it fly better. All right, so go ahead and do that. Just taking that edge right there and just folding it and then kind of open it back up and it leaves that little curve. Now we fold the plane in half this way. So we have our points up here, our points here. We'll fold the plane in half like this. Okay, go ahead. So it should look kind of like this. Now we're going to open it back up. Now to open this up, like I said, there's no fuselage to this plane. So it's it kind of lays flat. It's like a giant wing. That's all it is. It's kind of like a stealth plane. Okay. So what I'm going to do is open this up a little bit. Okay. So it should be, sorry. So it should be, I'm going to turn it sideways. See about how the wings are, these should be pointing out. Should be a little bit of a V shape right here. Okay. And then you want to make sure this is curved down just a little bit on that front edge. Okay. See how it's curved down just a bit. Okay. That's going to help just give it some lift. Now let's talk about how to fly this one. All right. And then I got a special way I made this plane. So let's go right over here. Let me get y'all set up here. Moving the camera. All right, so hopefully we can see some flights going on here. All right, so when I throw this, what I'm doing is I'm holding it like this. Okay, holding it like this. Not tight. I'm not holding it tight. Actually, when you first throw this, you can actually just drop it. Okay, hold it up high. Okay, and just drop it. And it has this really nice glide. After you practice that several times, what you can do is give it a little throw, okay? And it'll go a little bit further, but I hold it like this on the bottom, like this on the top. And when I throw it, I'm not really going like that, because you throw it really hard, it just wipes out. Okay, so what I do is I just kind of give it a gentle nudge. It has a little bit more lift to it, a little more flight to it. Have one come towards you here. All right, really cool, really mad. It's like magic because it just wings and it just floats. So I'm going to show you another way to make this plane. All right, this is really cool. Let me get y'all set up again. Right there. Okay, this is a piece of tissue paper. Okay, it is kind of like the paper that you they put in bags when they're wrapping presents. Okay, so this is a really neat way to make this. A difference I had to make though, a piece of paper like this is 8.5 inches wide. Okay, this plane that's too big for this paper. Okay, is the paper's not stiff enough or strong enough. Now my paper's been used. You can see how it's wrinkled. So I'm hoping this flies well. I actually ironed it out some. But this is 6 inches instead of 8.5 inches. You can see the difference. Okay, actually that's still 8.5 inches. So I need to get my ruler. And we're going to cut that down to 6 inches. I thought I did that earlier. So, cut it down to 6 inches. It's going to be right there. I think I can cut a pretty straight line, hopefully. Okay. Now, we'll do the same thing we did earlier. We're going to fold this in half. This is a little harder to work with because it's so light and delicate. This plane is going to be a delicate plane. Really small children probably couldn't handle this one very well. I'm going to open it back up. You're going to follow the same exact steps as before. So I'm just going to kind of show you. You can kind of follow along. See if you can remember the steps before I do them. Kind of a review, but you can always go back. It's the same exact steps as before. I'm sorry, I keep getting out of the screen here. Okay, there we go. A little more difficult to work with. Open this back up. Still remembering this. Now I'm going to fold this way. It's kind of tricky to remember to fold it coming from this corner, putting a point at this corner instead of trying to put a point at the front. I almost just did it again. Kind of rushing this. I'm hoping it still goes okay since this paper's so delicate. Right. I'll fold this over this to the center. Sorry, keep getting out of the screen here. Okay. That. Make sure all my creases are nice and sharp. Having sharp creases also makes your plane stronger. Oh man, I got a tear. Oh boy. Hopefully that won't affect it too much. Okay. I'm going to tuck this under here. My big old hands. Oh man, I hope they don't mess it up. So I got that tucked in there. Fold this one down. As light as this plane is, that tear might be a major factor in my plane. Hopefully not. It's a lot smaller too. If you got big hands like me, it's a little challenging. Okay. I'm going to do it. Fold right here. That's coming untucked there. fragile little plane. I'll fold it back in half. Okay, now with this one, you can't throw it at all. It's just a drop. I'm going to spread out my wings. Okay, it's kind of flies flat. Okay. That's probably going to have a little effect on my plane, but we'll see. All right, let's get back up here and we'll go for the test. This one's really cool if it flies right. It's a little trickier to throw. So we in the screen, here we go. See that? Let me get over here and throw it toward you. This just flows. This truly looks like magic. It's a really good plane to have fun with inside. Oh, it's so awesome. It looks like magic. So, let's do a life lesson today. All right. So, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Our life lesson today is kind of a quote from Bruce Lee. What it does is it says, take what you can use, throw away what you can't use, and then add your own to make it uniquely yours. So what that means is when you learn something, learn as much as you possibly can. Take in as much information as you possibly can. But then you look at it, that doesn't mean you have to stay with it and stick with exactly how you learned it. Okay? Most of these paper airplanes I've learned them and then I've changed them. I've done it fixed it my own way. Now I teach them to you. But then, so you can take that. But there's other parts people do on planes. I'm like, that's kind of a waste, or it doesn't work, or something's twisted about it. So I throw it away. And I do this with all the things that I learn. I take what I can use from it. Okay, still listen to the people. Take what I learned from it, and use what I can. Throw away what I don't want, and then I add in my own little touch. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson today. Have fun with your plane. Try it with that tissue paper. It's just like magic. So have a great day. May God bless all your adventures.